Hey everyone, welcome to the kitchen. Welcome back in the kitchen. But this isn't my kitchen. This is Leanne's kitchen. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you saw the note the other day about the amazing meal that we made in this kitchen. She was sweet enough to allow me in here the other night to cook for her and her daughter Anna. We made a gorgeous dish with Greek chicken and rice pasta and artichoke hearts and tomatoes. It was fantastic. And yet you're not going to see it. Not today, because the most important parts of that video have no sound. So they let me back in. So I'm here again today. Leanne's hanging out with me. The oven is ready, and we are going to make one of Anna's favorites, Fettuccine Alfredo. We will be making it from scratch, and we will be throwing in a few obstacles just to make it fun. For example, we have a wheat allergy, so we are using wheat-free pasta. It's a rice quinoa pasta that we're going to be cooking. We have some chicken in the oven to go with it, because one of the things I spoke with Leanne about was when she makes chicken, it ends up being chewy, and she doesn't want her chicken to be chewy, so I'm trying to show her ways to prevent that from happening. One of the ways to prevent it from happening is to make sure, quite frankly, that you don't overcook your chicken. No offense. But okay. Overcooked chicken is chewy. Undercooked chicken, even when you cut it open and it doesn't have that pink inside color, it's nice and white all the way through, but you take a bite and it gets really mushy in your mouth, it's undercooked and yucky. Overcooked chicken is going to be rubbery and chewy, and that's not good either. So we're going to throw some chicken on there as well, just to make it fun and exciting, so everybody gets to see an array of everything. But what we are going to focus on today is the Alfredo sauce, because we're going to make the sauce from scratch, and we are going to use just a few very simple ingredients, because quite frankly, to make Alfredo sauce, that's all you need. People like to get creative and add a lot as far as spices with oreganos and bagels and, did I say bagels?
You did.
I did?
You did say bagels.
Basil, not bagels. But they want fresh thyme and all these fresh herbs, and you don't need it all. The only fresh stuff we are using is garlic and parsley, and that's it. We're going to throw some cream and some butter and some garlic and parsley and Parmesan cheese together and reduce it at the proper heat in the proper time, so it's a nice thick creamy sauce that's not clumpy, it's not runny, and it's not too thick and almost has a gritty texture, because when you overcook it, it'll clump up. Okay. And it gets gritty and crunchy. So we're going to do it and moderate the temperature up and down to prevent that from happening. And that's going to be our focus today. So I've got the pasta cooking, we've got chicken in the oven, and we've got everything we need right here to make our sauce. So we're going to first check our pasta, then we're going to check our chicken, and then we're going to make our sauce. And it is that simple. Cakewalk. So since our pasta is done, we can start making our sauce. Okay. This is where timing gets fun and tricky, but not difficult. The first thing we're going to do is melt our butter. So that's a half a stick of butter, or 2 ounces of butter, or a quarter cup of butter, whatever you want to say. But that is a half a stick of salted butter. And I'm going to let that start to melt down a little bit. While that's melting, I'll make sure that Anna's wheat-free pasta is nicely drained and ready to be served. And it is beautiful stuff. So while the butter's melting, I'm going to go ahead, because this process is going to happen rather fast. But we're going to go ahead and throw the garlic. So I took, if you have like the bigger cloves of garlic, one nice big clove of garlic, and chop it up really, really small. But since I had some smaller pieces, I chopped up about 2 small cloves of garlic. And I'm going to let that cook a little bit as that butter is melting. And all I'm trying to get there, just start to change the color of the garlic a little bit. I don't want it to brown. You see that butter melted so fast? We're going to go ahead and lower the heat to just about a medium low. and let that cook just a tad, not much. And then we're going to add our cream. So I have a half a stick of butter, one nice sized clove of garlic chopped up real fine, or 2 smaller cloves. I'm going to turn the heat down to between medium and low. And I'm going to go ahead and add 1.5 cups of cream. Some people use heavy cream. I don't like heavy cream. I'm going to use light cream. You can also use half and half. Some people use milk. I don't recommend milk. If you use milk, whole milk, once you get into 2% and 1% milk, it's way too watery and it will not come out correctly. So if you're worried about cream at all, stick with the light cream. I'm not using heavy cream just for that sole purpose. I don't like the flavor, especially with this sauce. Okay? So now that I've got this, see, you smell the garlic,
yeah,
but it's cooked. It's obviously not raw garlic. It's got that caramelized cooked smell to it. So this is a good time to go ahead and add your cream. 1.5 cups of cream. And I'm going to let that go for a minute or two and start to cook together. And when I start to see a slight boil come.
It smells so good.
Well, thank you. And the sauce smells good too. Huh. We're going to let that go for a moment, let it start to come up to a little boil, and then we'll add the rest. But we really have to pay attention to time now because I don't want it to burn, don't want it to clump, I don't want it to have a gritty taste. I want a nice, smooth, creamy consistency. So the best way to do that is to stay here and pay close attention. See, we've got our boil, that slight simmer going. I'm keeping the heat low. The biggest mistake everybody will make is say this is taking too long and turn the heat up. And the moment you do that, you will overcook this. But the only other thing we need to add at the moment is we are going to add a little bit at a time of 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. We're going to add and whisk to let that slowly start to melt and slowly start to thicken up our sauce. 1 cup of grated cheese, and that's it. A little bit at a time, and if you can whisk and pour at the same time, that's great. But you see how thick that's getting? How fast it's getting that thick? It's the cheese. Speeds up the whole process. So I'm really going to turn this down. So we're on low.
Yeah. I can't believe you used the grated Parmesan cheese,
grated,
the green can. And
yes, grated Parmesan cheese. I don't need any salt. I don't need any pepper because Parmesan cheese, especially grated Parmesan cheese, is full of salt. So you've got all that flavor in there.
Creamy. Look at that.
It dissolves really well, really evenly. Kids love it. Now, believe it or not, it's not 100% dissolved away yet. We got to keep stirring.
Okay.
Longer than you would think to really make sure it's all gone. But what I am going to add, because we're at the end, so I've got freshly chopped parsley. Nice dry, freshly chopped parsley. I'm going to throw 2 tablespoons in here to give that last bit of aromatic flavor and stir that in. How pretty is that?
That's very pretty.
Check that out. Do you see how pretty that came out? See the green? Everything is dissolved. It's nice and thick. Got a great creamy consistency here. Look at this. Look at that. No grit. No grit. So exciting.
It smells amazing.
It really does. When you cook garlic, it gets nice and this like popcorny caramel smell to it. And parsley doesn't really have any taste, but it has a great smell. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure everybody can see this.
Beautiful.
And then we are going to go ahead and plate this up and show you just how easy this meal is and how beautiful it can be. I'm excited. This is my favorite part. My favorite, well, it's you all's favorite part because you get to eat. My favorite part is plating because I like the way we can make things look. Remember, we're doing pasta. And the best way to make pasta pretty on the plate is to give it some height. Always give it some height. So if you can, twirl the noodles around the fork. Now with rice pasta, it's not as easy. This sticks, but we are going to stay to the middle of the plate and we're going to continue to go up in order to give it the height that we're after. That's why I'm crisscrossing, because I want to keep it high the whole time. That's the point. See? Look at that. And we take our sauce. Now this is done. I've turned off the heat. Continue to stir, because you're going to get a little bit of a kind of a crusty formation on the top, and you want to make sure it's all stirred in. And you can do this one of two ways. You can toss the noodles directly in this, which a lot of restaurants do that. A lot of people like to do that. I like to just drizzle it on the top because I like the way it looks. I like the way it runs out on the plate. I was also asked to do it that way. But we're going to go ahead and drizzle across the top. It also just gives it a little fun to put it around the plate. See that? Kind of makes it look like more. And last but not least, even though there is parsley in there, I've got to top it off with something. I need some fresh color. So, you see that? Now this would be when I would take freshly grated or shaved Parmesan cheese and sprinkle that on top just for the look. But this is Anna's, so we're not going to do that. But folks, look at that. How pretty did that come out? Isn't that gorgeous? It is. Huh? Oh, I'm so excited.
She's ready to eat. She's probably drooling over there.
Fresh fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh my gosh.
Anna, your lunch is ready. How great was that? Yes. For Leanne, so much fun. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to this channel because I would like to go cook in other people's homes, check out other kitchens, show things off. Isn't this place gorgeous? I mean, check it out. It's great. I've had so much fun here because I've been cooking here twice.
We've loved it.
She's loved it, so she says. So please, if you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Let's make Leanne and Anna famous, please.
Yes.
Thank you. You folks have a great week. I'm sorry this video is later than normal, but better late than never. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.